One on TNT II, Lee versus Nastyukhin. Full card predictions and previews. Should be a pretty fun card, specifically designed for the American fans. It's going to be on TNT Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Make sure you guys smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Without further ado, let's get into the first fight of the night. Mitchell Chalamet, who took this fight on very short notice, takes on Shuyu Kamakubo. I'll be honest, fairly big level difference here. Mitchell is 36. He's fighting out of Tampa, Florida. He actually doesn't have that much high-level fighting experience. His last fight was in 2015. This is a very long time ago, and that was against Charles Kessinger. Right now, he runs an MMA league called Combat Night. He was actually good friends with Josh Saman, and they co-owned the promotion. Unfortunately, Josh Saman, former UFC fighter, passed away. But as you can see, not a ton of high-level experience. Gian Herrera did fight in the UFC, but his past 3 opponents had losing records. And as I mentioned, 2015. And the guy he's fighting, Shuyu Kamakubo, 11-1 as a pro, is a beast of a wrestler, grinds his opponents out, and dominates. He beat Bruno Uzi in the last fight, who was 7-3. Prior to that, Dae-Hoon Kim, who was 14-3. And then, I mean, you see a lot of notable competition with positive records. I mean, there are some negative records, but that's in 2016. That's a long time ago. Has also been very active. Look at the difference. Granted, he has had some time off during COVID. So now, I mean, 2019 in November to 2021 in April, about a year and a half off. But a serious difference of time off between Mitchell and Shuyu here. When you see the fight actually take place, I feel you're going to see Shuyu run through him. Mitchell does have grappling experience, wrestling background, also judo as well. But I feel like Shuyu is going to work him, get this fight against the cage, grind him out, and get him tired. I don't know how the stamina will be of Mitchell. I'm predicting first round TKO for Shuyu Kamakubo here. As he should. I mean, he's 26. He's a younger man. He's been a lot more active. He's working towards becoming a contender in the one championship. Mitchell, got to respect the guy taking the fight on short notice, especially with such a long layoff. But this should be an extremely one-sided fight. And when the betting odds do release for this fight, as of right now, I don't think the odds are out. I feel like they're going to be extremely widespread. Yeah, as of right now, no betting odds for this card. I'm going to pick Shuyu in a domination here. First round TKO. Next fight, Yusuke Kim versus Xu Wang. If you look at the height difference, it's huge. 5'4" to 6 feet. How many guys at 135 pounds are 6 feet tall? I don't think there's one in the UFC. Because Sean O'Malley, I believe, is 5'10", and he's probably one of, if not the tallest guys, with also Corey Sandhagen, who's also, I believe, 5'10". It's an interesting matchup here between these two. I do expect a very fun fight. I feel like the style matchup is striker versus striker, but the huge height difference. The only thing is, if you look at Kim's matchups, even though he's 6 feet tall, tends to come forward and be more of an inside fighter. I think that's definitely a problem here because Shuyu does have some power in his overhands. He's a very athletic kickboxer. He has decent experience. Granted, hasn't had that one championship experience like Sung Kim has, but I don't think that will really make a difference here. If Kim were to fight with the outside style, controlling range, I mean, he is a pretty patient striker and he is pretty upright. He doesn't tend to do that. He doesn't use his reach enough. I feel like Wang also being the southpaw, that's another serious thing to note. He's going to close the distance. He also has dangerous body kicks from the outside, decent punching power. I think the knockout for Wang will be there. I'm going to predict he does get a KO here, and I could see it in the second round. I feel like Kim, if he had the style to use the reach, should win. But I think Shuyu Wang gets the victory over him. He's a hot prospect. He is a lot shorter, but I don't think the height matters here. And I think we're going to see Xu Wang defeat Yusuke Kim by TKO in the second round or knockout. I do think it will be a very entertaining striking battle between both of them, though. Especially because Kim, as tall as he is, likes to close distance and enter the pocket. Now, this next fight, interesting matchup. Shinsha Tsuga Zoltselaseg versus Yoshiki Nakahara. It's a very difficult name to pronounce, so we will just call him Shine as of right now. Going to be a fun fight between these guys. Both come to fight. Shine does have a lot of knockout power. He hasn't fought the most high-level guys. We'll quickly pull up the record versus his opponent, Yoshiki, who has, I mean, 6-2 is a solid record. for Xu Wang. Prior to that, beat some lesser known guys in the One Warrior series. He does have experience with one championship, but doesn't have the level here. I mean, fighting a guy who it's going to be his 20th professional bout, definitely an advantage for him. Coming off a win in his last fight, a quick knockout. And prior to that, he did lose a quick submission defeat to Gary Tonin. But Gary Tonin is a phenomenal Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. And, you know, with Yoshiki being definitely dominantly a striker, primarily a striker. Both these guys are more primarily strikers. With Shine, he is a southpaw and he likes to switch his stances up. He's very aggressive. He comes forward looking to throw looping hooks, and he will definitely bring the heat. He has a very fan-friendly style with his opponent, Yoshiki. Also a southpaw, so you have the southpaw versus southpaw matchup here. Very dangerous kickboxer, and he's a guy that you really have to watch out for his head kicks from range. They're very dangerous. I believe he could get a knockout with a head kick in this matchup. I do think Yoshiki wins. I know Shine will be willing to close the distance and make it entertaining. I think you might see one of the best fight of the nights here, and I'm predicting a knockout win for Yoshiki Nakahara here. And I think he does it. I definitely see it 2 rounds or less here. That's going to be my pick, but a knockout win and maybe by a head kick for Nakahara, and in a fight that I think is really going to deliver. Good matchup here. Fun fight. Shine versus Yoshiki Nakahara. Excellent matchup in the lightweight division here. Or rather, featherweight division in one championship, since Tapology always mixes up the weight classes because the weights are different than the American leagues like UFC and Bellator. Now, in the co-main event, we have a Muay Thai bout. We're going to talk about that first before we get into the very exciting championship main event in the lightweight division. Jeanette Todd versus Anne Line Hogstad. I predict a battle between both of them. They're both very entertaining strikers. Slight height advantage for Anne Line Hogstad. It's Muay Thai with MMA gloves. I like Jeanette Todd because she has a bit more of like a free-flowing style, isn't as much of a Thai traditionalist with more of a stiff stance, but Anne Line Hogstad is definitely a beast. Excellent fight here. I'll be honest, I could see it going either way. I think it's going to go the distance. I'm going to pick Jeanette Todd, the American, to win this fight on a close decision. I do like the way she moves, the way she has that more free-flowing Thai style. I think things with the hands will open up better, and I think she will land on the more stiff style of Anne Line Hogstad. But Hogstad very dangerous in the clinch as well. Should be a good matchup between both of them. Excellent Thai fight here. But let's get to the MMA main event, because I know you guys came here for the MMA predictions, and this fight is huge. Christian Lee versus Timofey Nastyukhin. If you look at Timofey, knockout win over Eddie Alvarez, I mean, that was a huge moment for his career and definitely shot his hype way up. His last fight beat Piotr Bust, and now he fights Christian Lee for the world title. If you look at Christian Lee, this guy has beaten all the challenges coming his way as of recent, has not lost since 2018. That was against Edward Kelly. He avenged that loss, and it was actually a disqualification. Also lost to Martin Wynn by a split decision in 2018. Shinya Aoki, this guy beat. I mean, if you look at Sayed, I'm not going to say that full name there. That guy's a beast on the ground, and he actually quickly knocked out Timofey when they fought, and that was prior to when Timofey Nastyukhin fought Eddie Alvarez. He beat Yuri Lapikis very quickly. Lapikis a pretty good fighter. Granted, not the best performance against Eddie Alvarez last week. Kind of was a bit embarrassing there. But this matchup, Christian Lee has the height advantage. Timofey Nastyukhin's a very powerful striker. He comes forward. He is a bit more stiff. Christian Lee, definitely looser. Moves very well. Also does have some dangerous submissions. I see him beating Timofey here. I think Timofey being stiff, he's going to come forward and look for big shots. Christian Lee will counter. I predict we can see Christian Lee win this fight by submission or knockout. I don't see this bout going the distance. I see it being inside of 3 rounds. A stoppage win for Christian Lee. Leaning knockout victory. I do think he outstrikes Timofey from the outside. Counter strikes. Lands a big knockout punch and puts him out. And I think Christian Lee is really establishing himself as a scary fighter. At just 22, a world champion in the 1FC. I cannot wait to see what the future holds. And I think he beats a very serious challenge in the Russian Timofey Nastyukhin here. I mean, the guy beat Eddie Alvarez. The resume is very good for Timofey, but Christian Lee is on a different level. They do have some common opponents. Christian Lee beating some of them. Granted, MMA math does not work. I just think the stylistic matchup, Lee from the outside will have the advantage. I think Lee's submission game, he has the advantage. Pure strength, I do think Timofey Nastyukhin may give him some issues in the clinch, but I still feel Christian Lee is going to get it done, and he's a very exciting young MMA champion. Should be an excellent bout here to finish off this one on TNT card. The second one, We'll be going over it. I'll actually be doing live fight companion for it. So if you guys are interested, make sure you tune in to the play-by-play. Should be an excellent card. And it's on TNT for the American fans, which is exciting to see. The first card for the One Championship for the States. I mean, there was some controversy, some issues there. But at the end of the day, that main event between Adriano Moraes and Mighty Mouse was excellent. And what an upset. Looking forward to this one. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel. Also, guys, follow my social media. Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. And I will see you all in the next video.